Harri Pick's studio today for our first artist interview.
They say there's something in the water that got them all acting.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're in London.
Yes. Yeah.
You're based in London.
Yes.
What's it like in London at the moment during lockdown?
It's not too bad. It's not that different now because everything's open. It was kind of a ghost town, which isn't like London, and that was terrifying.
So, two things.
Yes.
You went to uni in London.
Yep.
And you're just about to start your masters
Yes.
in a new industry.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Same uni.
Yeah.
Didn't
So,
pay more.
first things first. Uni for music.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's a waste of time. I mean, if you've already got there and you've already got like the fans that you need, you've already got like a management team behind you, I probably would advise against it maybe, because you've already kind of got a way
then,
in.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh well, if you want to go for the experience, and like my teachers also were in the industry, so that was really good to have. Then I'd be like, definitely go, because I've learned so much that I would never have even thought of ever until I went. And there's just so many things like behind the camera that you don't even realise.
You're an artist yourself. This is your studio, obviously, as we've mentioned earlier. You've done you've got a single out, you've got new singles
coming
in the back.
Yes.
What's here? It's right there. But
yes,
you're just about to start your masters in A&R.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do A&R?
Well, when all the gigs were going pre-COVID, I was so like headstrong with all my organisation. I'd like got my contacts down. I found like management companies. I knew what I wanted to get, and I just thought it's going to take time to get there. And actually, I just thought if I could go into A&R and I can see how they find artists, how they manage artists, what they look for, and where the industry goes. Myself as an artist, I can put myself like right on their front door.
Okay.
So it wasn't a case of like I want to do A&R, not something I'm against, but I'm not being a musician. So no. It was just more of a case of how do I get my foot in the door quick.
Okay, so that's quite an interesting take then, because you're studying something that isn't going to be your career, but it's beneficial to you.
Yeah.
So would you say that it's beneficial to study different areas when you're a musician?
Yeah, because when I first came to uni, I just thought like I had to like put music on and hope people liked it and just post on social media, which obviously no,
not how it
That
works.
is not how you do it. And then actually you realise that there's going to be so many people that are also wanting to do the same thing as you, which naturally, obviously there's hundreds and thousands. You want to cut them out basically to get in front.
Savage.
So when there's like so many people around you and everyone else is trying to get to where you want to go as well, you kind of got to realise that some of them out there, they're not really going to help you. They're just going to take your money and leave. The biggest thing I've seen is that people who are like, oh, we'll help you get this song to this many followers and this many likes if you pay us some money. It's just not worth it. Just stop what you're doing. Don't pay it. Like.
And why is that?
Because they're going to do what you could spend 20 minutes doing. If they genuinely have a massive following and you've seen so much growth from it, I would go with it. But when they're going to tell you, oh, it's just £20 for a month and you only see like 5+ followers from it, you could have done that like natural growth. You could have just literally put the time and effort and try to do like a tiny bit of a boosting on promoting on your Instagram, which I would recommend, not all the time, but for a big, like say either a big gig or you've got a new single coming out, 20 quid is always going to work.
It's never worth it for any kind of social media business like that. The only time you should be spending your money on social media for your music is to A, promote it, like actually when you do your Facebook and Instagram promotions, or B, if you hire a social media mogul who will look after your social media or will give you tips, or you can just have a 1-hour meeting with them and they'll take a look at your Instagram and then they'll tell you what you need to do. But your main focus is being a music artist.
Yes.
Which is very unclear in the industry about how to go about doing that, because you can do it a million different ways.
Yeah.
But what made you want to be a music artist first of all?
I've been doing music since I was like 11, 12. Not that I was any good at 11 or 12. Awful.
I've seen a video actually.
Vile.
Were you playing at a country fair, or did you win a competition?
I was playing a competition. Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Didn't win.
Did you not?
That's the point. They didn't believe in me. I'm still here, kids. It's okay. I mean, the reason I wanted to become a musician was just because it was so much more fun. I get such an adrenaline rush when I play That it's like, if I go to work, that's what I want as my job. If I come home and I'm sad, I'm like, it's not the right job. If I'm just a bit depressed, it's not the right job.
You're on the right path.
Even though music's such an evil one, the rewards are really rewarding, and I really like it.
So music for you being an artist, is it about expressing yourself or is it about the performing side?
I prefer performing. It depends who I'm in a studio with, is when I get like the same adrenaline rush.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, like, because obviously if it's like, I have to get this done, it's fine, I still love doing it, but sometimes it's like, oh no, I can't do it.
Where'd you go in Yorkshire?
No.
I can't do it.
I can't do a northern accent, I don't know why I'm going to try.
She's not. She does a lot of accents.
Yeah, just not northern. Not northern. We won't try it, I won't go there. It's not going to work. Yeah, performance mostly, definitely is where like my adrenaline rush comes from, but I just get so happy that other people can relate to what I'm willing to like vulnerably put out there.
Oh, that's nice. Obviously it's Harri Pick.
Yes.
But it's a band, isn't it?
So it's me and then my band as a collective, I suppose.
And is it you and them?
Yes.
Or is it as a whole?
It's me and them, but we're still a whole.
Do you write all the songs yourself? Do you work with other people to write it? Are you just a person that supervises and somebody will write a song and you'll go, oh yeah, I like that, but I don't like that bit? Well, how does the writing process work with a whole band?
I have voice notes, and then I just put so much down. Some of them are terrible, and then some of them are cool. And then I'll just get them, and then I'll either go to a piano or I'll just go to a guitar, and then I'll come to Maz, my bassist, and be like, I've got this idea. What do you think? And she'll rip it apart in the best way possible. And then we'll just start jamming, see what comes out of it. And she was like messing around with some chords. And I was like, oh, I like that one. So then she just based it around that chord.
That's really good, because I know so many people that are happy to write the lyrics but not the music.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm good at lyrics but absolutely nothing else. And I know that some people write the music but they can't write lyrics.
Yeah.
And I know that those lucky people can do all of it, and I'm so jealous.
It goes through another process where my mixing and mastering friends who do that for me, Shaw and Madeline, then come and listen to the song. We'll rip it a little bit as well, rip little parts out, kind of change it, and then we'll be like, right, what else does it need? And then they might add like a guitar riff on top or something, or they might add Shaw, the man of many synths. He will add synths on it, and then we'll just all sit there and be like, oh, that could do that, and then that's how the song's done. It basically needs to go through 3 processes, just because opinions are great, and all of us are on the same path of what we want it to sound like. Yeah,
and that's come through years of songwriting yourself, hasn't it, to get to this stage. So when you were younger, and you were just starting out, so before you got to uni, did you write songs yourself then? What kind of, because I know you did a lot of folk
It was a lot of like folk pop, maybe just like some mellow pop.
Yeah. So for those who are starting out,
so
they don't have a band, they want to be a musician, they might play an instrument, they might not play any instruments, they just know they want to be a musician.
Yes.
How do they go about sort of honing that craft of, if they're a songwriter writing, or even if they don't want to do any songwriting, how do they possibly find someone that can?
So if you're by yourself and you're writing songs, just stop thinking. I did it as a kid, and I've known so many people who are like, oh, I want to make this song because it's going to make people cry, and I'm going to make money. But if you're going to hate it, you're really not going to want to play it. Like, play something that either means a lot to you, or it's just something that you really wanted to make. The music that you want to make is going to sound so much better than the music that you're trying to make. Because I did it so much, even last year, like I attempted to change the genre, and it just didn't work because I really just couldn't focus. And like, if you're a songwriter, or you're a musician and you're writing stuff, you're gonna be so much better at stuff you're gonna want to write. So the best thing to do is just like sit down, write something, rip it to pieces. Don't be nice to yourself. It doesn't need to happen. Be horrible to yourself, because
perfectionism is the worst thing for any kind of creative subject, especially when it comes to music. Because I found when I write, I've never finished a song. Okay, I'm 21. I've been writing. Actually, I haven't actually been writing for that long, to be honest. I've only been writing since I was about 17. Which is totally fine. But I've probably got about 30 songs written. And have I finished one? No.
That's why there's 2 more steps for me.
That's why I'm a radio presenter. Yeah, the thing with perfectionism is it can be such a downfall. And I remember when I was at uni and I was on the artist path, and I was talking to my friend who I used to work with, who wasn't in music at all. She said to me, because I said, the first song I want to release has to be this amazing song that everybody loves.
Yeah.
It needs to show who I am straight away. My friend just said to me, she just said, why does your first song need to be like that? Have you ever heard a successful music artist that had an incredible first song? And when I say first song, I don't mean the song that made them big, that's in the charts.
The literal first song.
I mean like Lewis Capaldi's song that he wrote when he was 60. To be fair, they are the ones that are big hits, so that's probably the worst example to use.
Yeah, you
But-
lucky sod.
But I don't think Dua Lipa wrote, what's that song about? Kissing? Mwah, mwah. Can you find out? Make me look like a terrible radio presenter. I don't think when Dua Lipa, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know it's Dua Lipa, but I just don't think that that's the sentence that I was gonna say. When Dua Lipa's song "Blow Your Mind," yeah, which was probably the one that got her like on the market. Not massive, but that was the one that kind of got her in the first step. That's not the first song she wrote. There's no way that's the first song she wrote. I guarantee you there's about 10 songs that she's already written that she's way too embarrassed to still have on Spotify. And that is something you don't know. So your first song does not need to be the most incredible thing that anybody's ever heard, ever. Because do you know what? It won't be. Just release the song.
Yeah.
Just release the song. Get your music out there. The more music you make, you'll write 10 terrible songs and get one good song out of it. Yeah. Okay. And it's gonna take you. It's gonna take you a while. And do you know what? You can always take those songs down next year. And you're a big example of that because you were a folk singer, and it was all about folk for you. And now
it's not folk at all.
No.
Which is a little bit a whirlwind.
So, but how did that transition happen?
I really wanted to do it for ages.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the people or like the knowledge to be like, how do I change it? I love listening to that music. But I was like, I can't create that. That's not gonna happen.
By the way, Harry's got a hamster in his
hamster. It's just drinking out the water bottle.
It's just drinking. So if you hear incessant tapping in the background,
she's just a bit thirsty.
It's a hamster. I'm not a terrible YouTuber.
And then I started my band only in January this year. I think we like had one rehearsal before Christmas. And then in January it started to come together. And then Maz came in for bass in end of January, February. And we all started to make the music, and it was just great to be like, this is my song. But honestly, if you guys have got any opinions on it, just let me know. And it was a really big eye-opener for me because I had these songs that weren't indie.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you guys have any idea how I could even not necessarily make new songs indie, how I could change these ones, let me know. And oh my god, I was just sat there just taking all the notes in, to be honest. I was like, just take it, I'll take it, just let me write it down.
And I think that's such a big thing because I think if you focus too much on what kind of song you want to make.
Yeah.
So for you, I don't know if you found this, but when you were going, I need to make an indie song, did you find that impossible?
Yeah. Actually, in the whole of this pandemic, I had this thing, I was like, that's not my music genre. Even though it was, I was just having a pure panic, which everyone else had, and I was like, I can't create that.
Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come in.
So I just want to say, whoa,
Sorry, we're recording.
That's so right. That's just ruined my life.
Did you find it impossible
Yes.
to write an indie song?
I found it very impossible. The more I thought about it, I was like, never gonna do it.
Yeah.
And because it was it wasn't natural, I was listening to songs and being like, oh, okay, I need to put that type of riff in. I need to put that type of melody.
The amount of times
Yeah.
I've done that.
And I was like, oh, this is never gonna bloody happen, is it? And then through the whole pandemic as well, I was like, that's not my genre.
Yeah.
Even though it was fine. It was totally fine. But I'd have these panic days where everyone on social media was posting and I was just too scared to post something in case it wasn't me. But actually it was. And then I started posting it and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe that's not my genre that I'm posting on there. Maybe I've said it's this genre, but actually it's not. And it's the worst thing ever. And because it's it's fine. It's just because you hear different types of indie and you're like, oh, maybe I want to do that. But actually you're like, no, I'm really happy doing this. But I just think too much about it, which is my worst and best.
It was absolutely impossible. If you go in saying, I'm going to write a song like this, it's not going to happen.
No.
You just need to let go of that expectation, and quite a lot of that comes from learning how to write commercially. I think that's a really important step. In the future, obviously, if you're starting out, just write what you want to write, okay? In the future, it's good to sort of learn to write commercially, because then you learn to let go of your expectations. Sometimes you have to write something that's already been in another song. You just have to write, oh yeah, I miss you, in a song, even if you don't want to. It works. People like it. If commercial writing wasn't good, people wouldn't listen to it. So pay attention to any good old commercial songs, even if you want to be completely alternative and underground. Learning to write commercially is one of the best things that you can do for your songwriting.
There's nothing wrong with writing with people. So many
Oh
people
my
are
gosh, no.
if I don't write every single part of the song, I'm not a musician.
Ariana Grande will have a team of 4+ songwriters for one song. Having a team of songwriters, even if they're not in your band, just working with other people, you bounce off of other people, you get amazing
And then
ideas
you meet
from
their
it.
friends who are also like another connection,
Exactly.
and therefore you've like gone up a ladder.
Yeah.
You're gonna go up another ladder. Like there's nothing. I don't know why people are like, oh, but if I don't do that, then like it's not my. It is your song. And the whole point is like, if you're not happy with the music you're making, why don't you just go to someone else who makes music and go, do you want to write together?
Yeah.
Like we either like split it 50-50 or we just don't take anything from it or something like. That's
Even
fine.
if you've never written before.
Yeah.
Just say to somebody, I can't write songs.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write songs. I like your songs.
I want to write this type of song.
Let's do a project together.
You'll get better as a musician.
Yeah.
And better as a songwriter.
And especially
because you'll just learn.
And in the kind of community, the music community we're in,
Yeah.
where we haven't just started out, we're quite far on our journey, but we're not really successful yet. The people in our music community will always be more than happy to say, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's only when you start getting towards your end goal that people get too busy, or they just don't want to be involved in that thing, or they've just got their own thing going on.
Which is fine.
So if you're in a position where you're just starting out, or you're in a position where you're at uni, or you're in a position when you're like us, you've graduated, you're making your way into the business, you're doing quite well, this is the time to utilise those contacts now. For free. You never know, you might write a song with somebody who ends up having a #1 hit.
Yeah.
And then when they've got a #1 hit,
they might be like, oh, I remember you singing on my old track like 2 years ago.
let's
Do you
join
wanna-
up
do
again.
you wanna, join up again.
And then before you know it, you've got #1 hit.
Yeah.
Or whoever's #1 hits come out, fans are going to go back and listen to their old songs, and guess who's going to be in the songwriting credits?
You.
You! Guess who's going to be getting tens of thousands of pounds in royalties? You! Speaking of collabing
Yes.
and bands and
Yes.
writing as a band,
Mhm.
this is something that I think is probably one of the hardest things to do if you're not a solo artist. How did you find your band?
Ah, yes.
How did you find a band that's with like-minded people that like the same kind of stuff? It just seems like a 1% chance out of 50.
Yeah, it's a bit like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
So I didn't even actually find musicians that did my genre. I just said, hey, I need a band. Who's up for playing? And I found my guitarists. That was cool. I did a gig with them, and then I was like, I want a full band, really want a full band. So luckily, I'm in uni, in a music uni. So I just
Handy.
emailed like my head of year and was like, hey, do you know any
Okay.
musicians who are willing to
Wow.
play? And I was like, I want to nab some second years or first years, because they might not be in a band yet. And third years are far too busy to find a band.
Yes, don't
be
go
in a
for
band.
if you're at uni, do not ask
Yeah.
a final year student.
Yeah.
Do
So much
not
stress.
approach them for anything. Do not talk to them unless it's to say, do you want some coffee?
Do you need any food, any snacks? No.
Do you need an extension lead?
Do you need an extension in general? Yes. But that's why I emailed and was like, I need to nick like a second and first year student. And like, the band I'm with now haven't always been my band. Like, we've had a couple people go in, out, some just don't work out. And so I got them all, and then I was also down by like 2. And then that's when my guitarist lived with my now bassist. And I just met her and was like, oh, like, I don't have a bassist at the moment. And she was like, oh, really? She was like, can I play for you? I didn't hear her play. She never heard me play. We just went, yeah, sure. So it's a good job it worked out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
so it's just a coincidence.
yeah, she just heard the songs, came in, played with us, and I was like, cool. And then I was like, oh, well, I also need a drummer. And I was really struggling. But she knew a drummer. So just by getting her in the band by luck, I then also was able to get my drummer, Triggs, in the band as well. So it is just a case of email everyone and anyone. There's a group chat that I'm on, like a Facebook page called like London Musicians Network UK. Put it on there. Like, people are going to send you, I had something like 35 guitars email. But like, you can just go through, just have a look at them, because obviously like they might not do your genre, that's fine. And then if they don't, just be like, oh, I'm really sorry, I don't know if it's going to work, because obviously they might not enjoy it just as much as you're probably not going to get what you want out of it. And luckily, mine like the genre.
So obviously you're in a band now.
Yes.
How long has this band process taken with people coming in and out? And I mean, I know you're still in a position where
Finding
it's
people,
you're still trying to find people.
Yeah.
But how many years or weeks or months has it taken to get to a point where you're comfortably in a band with people that you can rely on and you work well together?
Just under a year.
Oh, that's pretty good going. That's pretty quick.
I wasn't looking until I started my third year in uni,
Mhm.
and I was like, right, I found my genre.
Yeah.
I know who I am. Kind of as an artist. Yeah, it was about just under a year, and I got some people just before Christmas. We did a rehearsal.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be offended if someone turns around to me and goes, I don't want to be in a band anymore. I'll be like, fair enough. Like, at the end of the day, they're trying to make it into the same industry I am, and I know how hard it is.
You don't do music for other people. Obviously, if you're a session player, that's different.
Story.
But that's a different video altogether. I've got somebody gonna talk to them about that. If you're a musician who hasn't decided that they are gonna be a session player, you don't make music for other people.
No.
At the end of the day,
It doesn't help you.
if you're in a band and you don't enjoy playing the music, just get out. Nobody's gonna be mad at me. Mad at you. Everybody knows music is really personal. Being a musician is probably one of the hardest industries
just to get
to
into.
even get into, let alone be
I can
successful
handle
within
being
it.
ripped in part is getting into.
So you don't do music for the hell of it. You do it because you love it and you're passionate about it. And if you're in a situation where you're not feeling that, then it's time to move on.
Yeah. Like, there was a time earlier in the year, and I had to speak to one of my band members because I just didn't think it was working. It wasn't like malicious or anything. The band just wasn't like, there was something that just wasn't working.
It wasn't blending.
Yeah, and he completely agreed with me. And then we just changed it up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, I hate you, I'm not talking to you. No, that's pathetic. It's not supposed to be like malicious or anything like that. It's just, oh, that wasn't working.
And you know what?
We'll switch it up.
You did each other a favour, you know, and it.
Now they're in a band and they're loving it, so.
I hate this song. I think we need to talk a little bit more about DIY musicians. You know, a lot of people who are watching this will be in our position. They'll already be aware of a lot of this.
Mhm.
So, what do you want to say to, as an artist yourself, having been through the process?
Yeah.
What do you want to say to those people who are starting out and have no idea how to begin?
Well, for starters, I'm still a DIY musician. You're probably going to be one. It's just an independent person who's looking after everything. So that goes from like your gigs, you're like trying to book things with people, your actual recording sessions, maybe recording them in general.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's everything. So
right.
when earlier in this year, I had already sorted like my Spotify out, what I wanted to put on there, how to like look at growing it, looking at my social media, which honestly, as a DIY musician, is the most time consuming. You'll even know that, the most time consuming thing in the most entire world. It can go all the way to your gigs, maybe trying to like rebook gigs. Honestly, in January, I was booking gigs for June and July.
So you had loads booked, didn't you?
Yeah, I had about like 18 gigs booked. And then we managed to do 6 or 7 of them. And then the rest just slowly got cancelled one by one. And we were like, oh, damn it. But we've kept in contact with the promoters. And we're hoping to be able to like just push them to when we can do them again. Like, it's so good to have them all in advance because we were getting so much tighter and so much better throughout all the gigs as well. And
How
you're
do
just
you-
fine.
But how do you book gigs?
So, I put in, so for London wise, obviously, naturally, there's more than if you're gonna look in like Bristol maybe, like 10 times more. There's loads in Bristol, but like you have more choice to go around.
Yeah,
with
I
everything.
guess like London.
London.
London. London's a lot bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, so naturally, like, you have more like places to choose from. One thing, never do one where they go, you have to sell X amount of tickets, but you have to pay us first before you sell the tickets, because just don't do it. Because as a starting musician starting out, the most stressful thing is going, I have to bring, and this sounds so stupid, 25 people to my gig.
Yeah.
And
And you
people are like
think-
25 people, that's like a
Yeah,
classroom.
you'll think, oh yeah, that's so easy. I've got loads of friends and family that will want to come.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, they won't want to come.
No.
Okay.
Like, after they've seen it once, that's it. So don't do those because it just messes you around. You won't get paid. If you wanna get paid, function bands, go to it. But that's a whole
Yeah, go do weddings.
Yeah,
If you want to
honestly.
make a lot of money in the music
Yeah.
industry,
weddings.
forget being a famous artist.
Yeah.
Go play at some weddings.
Yeah. But I think we've been paid once this year. That sounds so
Is that for a
demotivating.
gig?
Yeah, for a gig.
Mhm.
That sounds really demotivating, but that's because you need to get the people to like you, to like your
Yeah.
music, to enjoy your gigs. So like you kind of are providing a free service until then. I mean, our first gig was in Camden, and it
Mhm.
was like right underneath in this basement, and we were like, where are we going? And actually, it was also an open bar for people as well. So like, as in like very big.
can
not,
I
like
come?
not open bar as in free.
Oh.
Sorry, I meant like a giant open like.
I was
open
gonna
bar.
say, why didn't I get invited to that
Why
one?
didn't I
I
do that?
definitely would have paid for a ticket for that.
And we were stressed because it was like £8 a ticket, which for students as well is quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it was our first gig, so we were like, there's quite a lot of money to
It's a lot of money
charge.
to spend on a band, but
You don't know.
you don't know.
It's not insulting. You don't know
Yeah.
them. Why are you going to
Yeah,
spend
you're
£8
probably
on them?
surprised at us saying that that's expensive for a gig. It's cheap for a gig, but it's not cheap
For
for a
someone you
gig
don't
of
know.
someone you've never even heard
And
of
also,
before.
if you don't know them and you've never heard of them,
Why would
what
you
if
go?
they're terrible?
And you
That's
just
£8 on
spent
terribleness.
£8 that you could have spent on a
2 meal deals, maybe 3 meal deals. That's my way of looking at it.
2 ready meals.
Yeah,
You could have missed 2 dinners out of your week
that's a fat
to
McDonald's
go and
available.
see a terrible band.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you weigh it up when you're.
But they can also be really good.
Yeah,
That's what-
it might be the best thing you've ever done in your life. But
Yeah.
anyway.
And we were like walking downstairs, but I had also been there with a previous band before.
Mhm.
Obviously, like, you start again, I hadn't been there in years, I panicked, and I walked downstairs and I was like, oh, but what if no one turns up? Like, I'm not expecting to get paid, it's just more of a case of I really want to bring people to my shows, I want to
Yeah.
get to know them, I want to have fun, and it was actually packed.
Wow.
Just by pure luck, it was completely
Yeah.
packed, and I met people that I didn't know. The other bands that were playing as well also brought people, so it was like I met their fans or like their friends, family, as well as other people, and like they met mine, and it was just like a really good crossover. And it was
Yeah.
probably like the best first gig we could have had.
Yeah.
But to find gigs, just type in your location, small music venues near me, and honestly, I made personalised emails for every single one. That's because I spent the whole day and I was like, I need gigs. And I think overall in the month I sent out just shy of 400 emails.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really like, I want the gigs, I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, some of them aren't gonna reply to you, that's fine, doesn't matter, you haven't lost anything
Yeah.
from sending that email, send it. The best thing to do is basically like the 3-point sentence. You just go who you are, what music you play, and your social media links. Never
Yeah.
send them anything in the email. Always link it because no one wants to download anything.
Oh my gosh.
No one
yeah.
wants to download a file that's like going to take an hour to download. They'll just delete it. They don't even care. It doesn't waste their time.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother them. Just send a link to SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
But send
All
a
of them.
link to a specific song.
Yes.
So I know, obviously, I reach out to a lot of music artists
Yeah.
to play on my show, and I get a lot of download links that haven't been uploaded
Mhm.
to any streaming services, so I can't play it on the show.
Yeah.
Or they send me a link to an album, and
You got to play your best one.
thank you so much if you sent me a link to your album, but for me, I'm going to be completely transparent because this is the whole point of this channel, and if it offends you, I'm sorry, but this is what happens in the music industry. If I get sent an album, I think I've got to go through 12 songs and pick one, and all of them might be terrible.
Yeah.
You know,
You choose
I
your
know
best
that sounds
one.
awful. That's an hour and a half of my day
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah.
and it might not even be worth that time I put in. So a number one tip, if you are going to send anyone a song,
Send them your best one.
yeah, whether that's a label, whether
New
that's
song,
a venue,
yeah.
whether that's a manager, send them, unless they specifically request 3 songs, send them 1 song and send them your best song. It doesn't need to be your most recent single. Chances are, if you sent them a really good song, they'll listen to your most recent single, okay?
If you've got a song and you want to get played on the radio, you send that song.
Yeah.
If
you don't
wanna,
send them a whole album.
No, only because it's like, it's too much choice. So if they like it, they're going to be really stressed on which one to choose. They don't have time on which one to choose. And if you're not sending them the song you think's best, then it kind of just, not in a bad way, it just shows that it's like, well, what do you want? Like, you're sending me this,
to
you
me,
want this.
it feels almost like oh, here's my songs
You choose whatever.
for you to play. I don't mind.
Yeah. But
And
no.
that shows to me you don't actually mind if you even get played.
Yeah, no, like,
if you
I
send
want
me an
this,
album,
this is the song, I want you to play that.
If you send me an album, it's so hard to say this without me being mean, but that's lazy. It's lazy.
Yeah.
Just send them 1 song.
The other thing that's also really good to put on an email is obviously like a link to your YouTube, which you can do like other like you talking about things, or like you like recorded a song and played it. Send a live show, but one song of a live show, because they need to capture how you perform.
Oh wow, that's a really good idea.
So obviously they'll go, wow, this song's really good, but actually if I just stand on there and I'm just like, and I don't do anything, but it's like a really like proper like indie rock song, well, it's not going to help them. They're going to be like, well, it's a really good song, but the stage presence isn't really there.
Yeah.
So it's not going to drag like the punters in, and we need them. So that's also a really good one to put on. But honestly, just the best thing to do is don't send one email to everyone, because it will just look like chainmail, and everyone's had those before. Do you open them anymore? No, you just like flick them off. Goodbye, that's gone. But music-wise, just look at it, put them in, search through down them. I literally was on like 20 different websites by the time I was done, of different venues, different timings. I just sent it. If I didn't get an email back, I didn't like, not I didn't care, but it was like, I'm focused on getting the gigs. I'm not going to be like butthurt that this place in like Ruislip didn't reply to me. Like, sorry, that's out. I'm getting another one.
And also, like, it might be a case of that specific venues for a specific genre. Like in London, there are a lot of jazz clubs. But you still apply to play at them. You might be a hard rock artist,
but they do different nights.
They do different nights. So you still apply to those jazz clubs. If you're a metal artist, if you don't get an email back,
explain it on the email that you understand this, isn't it? But so if they say that they're a jazz club, they don't play anything else, wouldn't bother. But if they say they're a jazz club, but like once a month they have a different night, say, I know this isn't usually the genre you play, just a short sentence. However, I saw on blah 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 you did this night, and I'd be interested if it was okay or if it was available for us to play. You don't need to ramble on an email, because they're going to work out who you are in like 2 seconds as an artist via your song and a video.
So this is another thing. If you're somebody who's breaking out into the scene, you don't actually have any songs of your own yet. So people that want gigs, but they don't have their own music, what do they do?
It's a slightly different scenario, because then you'd probably be looking at actually just playing for like a pub, but
like an open mic night.
Then I'd be asked the question, do you want to become a musician, like a solo musician who makes their own music, or do you want to become a cover musician? Only because then it's 2 different things. Like, if you want to become your own musician, I'd stop contacting people for 5 minutes and try and like get at least one song out. Even if you just play one song that's an original at a place, it's still like, oh, I'm trying.
Song. If you play 20 minutes worth of covers and one song in the middle, that's your own.
It's your own, that's fine.
Great.
You've started out, just get whatever out. But if you're like, actually, I just do covers, fine. It makes you money.
Cool.
But you would then be looking at being like, well, you're going to probably want me to play like 2 45-minute sets. It does pay as well, so it's not a bad thing to go to. And then you'd be looking at like contacting them, asking them if they provide a service like this, or like if you want to do it for free, go for do it. That would just be a case of like, still do the exact same thing, but here's my links. I was wondering if you guys have any musicians that need to play in the background at a pub or like at this restaurant, and I can provide 2 45-minute sets of covers. You don't have to explain it long, just say what you're all doing.
One of the other things that popped up when we were talking about booking venue, something really important to bear in mind, if you don't get selected to play at a venue, if you don't get a response, if you don't get selected to be played on the radio if you don't get a response. That doesn't mean that you're not good.
No.
It means that you're probably very good. It's just that that venue can't take that kind of artist.
Yeah.
It's good to send them anyway. Do not be disheartened and don't think that you can't do it if nobody gets back to you.
Yeah.
Someone will get back to you, whether it's good news or bad news. You just have to keep going. And the biggest thing you'll hear in the music industry, the phrase you'll hear more than any other phrase is, you have to be in the right place at the right time, which is the biggest lie in the world, okay? Because saying, oh, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time is not true. I just had to stop myself from, it's just not true. Anyone who told you that they just happened to be in the right place at the right time,
They worked really hard behind that, they're just faking it.
they've been doing it. They might have been gigging for 2 years.
Yeah.
They might have been gigging once a week for 2 years, and then something happened.
Yeah.
Anyone who tells you, oh, well, I was in the right place at the right time, is
No.
wrong, because they've put in the work. You have to put yourself in a position where you will be in the right place at the right time, and that could take 5 years.
Yeah.
It could be next week. You might be really lucky.
Yeah.
But it could be a year, it could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years before that opportunity comes. But you have to put yourself in a position where that opportunity can happen.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I was going to say is like, if we'll go back, because I realised I skipped a part.
Yeah.
Of like, say I'm starting out, I want to be a musician, not really sure how to go about it first. Just get some songs. That's like the biggest thing. A lot of people like start looking at gigs and they're like, if I get gigs, that's a deadline for me to get songs.
No.
Just get a song first. Get a song first. Only because if you book a gig and then you're stressing, and somehow also awesome to you if you've booked a gig and you've got nothing. You've done pretty well on that. And then suddenly you're like, oh, I don't have a song, I don't know what I'm doing. You've just caused so much more stress for yourself. If you get like even just 1 or 2 songs done, and then start booking gigs. But I would, if I were you, find, if you're gonna be by yourself, great, and you've got like, you're rehearsed, you're ready, awesome, fine, you book the gigs. But get a couple rehearsals in so that when you come to that first gig, it's not like, guys, do we remember this one?
Yeah.
Or like someone's going, oh, was the bridge after this, or was it after that one instead?
Yeah.
Because I've been in so many situations where that's happened, and myself included has said that.
And it's stressful.
Yeah.
It's especially if you're playing for somebody else and they go, oh no, it'll be fine, like we'll just turn up and we'll do it, and you practice and you know you'll play it. Then you get there and nobody else knows what you're doing. And for you, even though it's completely not your project,
It's gut-wrenching.
it's awful because people are then going to see you and associate you with this terrible performance.
Yeah.
Even if you've put in the hard work, you've put in the graft, you know exactly what you're doing, people won't know that. People will think, this is a mess.
Yeah.
I'm never working with any of these people.
Like,
Always
get ready.
always have at least 3 rehearsals before any gig.
Yeah.
Even if it's you're not playing with anyone,
No.
you're just playing with yourself. 3 rehearsals at least.
Yeah. And then once you've done that, you have 1 gig. Get anyone, your friend, just be like, I will pay your entry. Sounds silly. For you to, I did it for my friends Madeline and Shaw. On my first gig, I was like, right, guys, I'll pay your entry. Can you take videos? Can you take photos? Can you put it on social media? Can you take my phone? Can you post it? You need to hype it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if 20 people came to the gig. You take them where the photo looks full. Because it's still 20 people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's still people that you would never have thought would come. You get the photos down so that basically that week you can look back on it, you can post it and be like, this is what we played this week. Show the people that didn't come what they're missing out on. You get the video. Also, I have the perfect example of the reason why I take videos on my gigs. Because my first gig compared to my last gig, on the exact same song, was like a 10-fold up.
Yeah.
We'd rehearsed at one point, it started to become twice a week. And then we just like meet up anyway as well, so technically 3 times a week. And it was like just 10-fold, it was so much better. And like we were still like, we could be tighter.
Yeah.
You can always be tighter. But you could tell we knew the songs. We were actually just jamming on stage and having fun.
Yeah.
Like our actual stage presence came up because we weren't worrying about what we were actually playing.
Yeah.
We knew it to a T. So always take videos, even if actually you got to some random person and go, hi, can you just take a video? It doesn't matter if it's an awful video, you don't have to post it, you just keep it for your own self. And then you can always be like, guys, back to then to now, like what a difference, like look how we've changed up, kind of thing. Always best to post. Amazing. And then from then you've got enough social media stuff that you could post it, and you've got like a running entry, you've got it going, you know what content.
You've got something, if you apply for something or
you want to send to, it's there.
They can look at that already, and it's not like a massive panic going, oh, I'm going to apply for this but I'm not going to get it because I haven't I haven't got evidence of that. Just do it.
Just send it.
Do it, post it, send it, save it, and then when that opportunity comes, you're like, sure,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah. I literally have a folder on my phone, and I've
Yeah.
run out of iCloud storage now, and it all just stays in the still of like music. It's
Yeah.
just music, and it's like anything that I've like maybe I've played in my bedroom, or I've played at a gig, or I've played at uni, or I've rehearsed. Like, it's all just there because I never know when actually like I go, oh, I don't have any content for today. There's a throwback video.
Yeah.
Chuck it on. Like, even I have one that I posted last time, and Maz and I were trying to write the song, and we got it done, and then we had a bottle of wine, and we were really drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'll just post that video. Like, that's
Yeah.
funny anyway. It doesn't have to all be to music.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. I remember starting out my social media, and I got a friend to help me because I was like, you did social media marketing, like, you know what you're doing. And she was helping me with it. And she was like, you're thinking too much into it. I was like, but I need it to be perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen. Like, your videos and your photos are going to look terrible probably at the beginning. But the more natural, like, your own private social media would be, the better the outcome.
People, especially in the music industry,
Yeah.
like, you could write an amazing song, but if you're a terrible, boring person, people will listen to the song because
Yeah.
it's on the radio, but they're not going to then follow you on Instagram. They're
Yeah.
not then going to be interested in watching your music videos. If you're an entertaining person, that's like,
Yeah. Like, I see like different musicians and like what they're good at. Like, they either go down like the funny route,
yeah.
or like they're a little bit more like sexy and their music sexy. Personally, never gonna happen with me. I can't do it. I'd rather like post a photo of me like eating a burger or something like that. It's
Or
just me.
you have done that on
Yeah.
occasion.
Exactly.
I've got some
Like,
very funny photos.
it's
like
just
that.
me. But that's my personality coming through. It's never gonna happen. If I suddenly started posting sexy videos, I'm sure
Oh, to be-
90% of people would be like, what are you doing?
Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Just ready? Sexy shot.
What was that? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'd rather just be like, it just,
Plus, it doesn't really come with your genre.
no, like,
yeah. If you're going to be a pop
R&B, that's
Female
sexy. Like, yeah.
artist, then you kind of have to be sexy whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But there'll be a different video on that. Yeah. Okay.
A strap. A strap.
So we're going to be dropping in with Harri throughout the year, doing A&R, top
Yes.
tips for building your
It's like the free university guide.
free
I'll pay the
university.
money to go and you guys get it for free.
Yeah, well, you look at that. That's
Yeah.
a deal you can't refuse.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll drop in and out with you
Yes.
quite a lot
Yes.
over the next year and probably beyond
Yes.
that, to give you tips on how to get your artistry honed in,
Yes.
how to get yourself out there, how to promote yourself, everything
Yes.
like that.
I'll find out how like you can go to a label without feeling like you're not either like up to standard or like maybe you're stressing them out or it's like maybe not the right thing because that's what I need to find out. So I'll find out for you
There
guys.
we go.
Yeah.
So we'll be on a journey together.
Here next time.
Here's one I
Yeah.
made
Earlier.
earlier. It's one of those like really dramatic.
I was trying to
this
sound
little
collective.
bit.
A&R learning with Harri Pick, who is also still learning.
That's like the least dramatic thing I've ever heard.
Might make clickbait.
Clickbait? That's not gonna make clickbait. What you be
Sound
like?
collective. Someone jumps off a cliff and flies. And they
I was gonna say, be careful what you say
no, not
there.
a dog. Jumps off a cliff and it's in a film I watched.
Very off topic, severely off topic.
That's gonna get cut out.
Let's all go in the bloopers. Oh, by the way, if you
That's clickbait.
hang on, I'm gonna start. What was?
That's clickbait. Bye.
Wait.
If you guys need any more tips, any more advice, you can ask one of us. If you've got advice for either of us, we'll also have it as well.
Yes, please.
Yep.
I'll take it.
If you've got any like things that you wanna like,
Mhm.
obviously with me kind of thing, if you want us to like question or find out, or we'll do some research. I love
Yeah.
a bit of research. You can put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We're going to put our social media below so you
Yes.
can DM us with any
Yes.
questions. Well, yeah. Thanks very much for letting me come in. Sit in your studio.
I hope you had fun. guys.
Your sneak peeks.
Yes.
She's lost it now. Look, her brain's gone. She's going funny. You better be careful because I'm going to put some of this in.
That's okay.
And we'll drop in with you very soon.
Very soon. If I chatted a load of rubbish, that's sorry. My problem. My bad. Oops. Here we are.
Thank you very much. Info like this every week, then click the subscribe button.
Yes.
And please like this video, it really supports my channel and this, well, I mean our channel really, because this is for every musician who either doesn't know what they're doing or knows exactly what they're doing and just wants emotional support. So like, subscribe, thank you so much for watching.
Au revoir, bye.
Bye.
They say there's something